where only evil is good, and the only kiss, the kiss of the vampire.
You know what a vampire is?
Yes, I've heard of vampire bats.
No, not bats. Vampires.
Good morning everyone, how you doing? It's Paul from Unusual Things. Now this morning we have come to Minster Church and I didn't even know about this, but I was in a bar last night and one of the locals got talking to me and said that the film director Don Sharp is buried here. Now Don Sharp directed many Hammer horror films. He also directed The Face of Fu Manchu and his son Jonny Dollar is also buried here. Jonny Dollar is a famous music producer who, those of you that know the group Massive Attack, he worked on the track Unfinished Symphony, which is amazing. It's an amazing, amazing, amazing track. So we're going to go and find their final resting places down there in the church. It's one of those churches that's in the middle of nowhere. Yeah, so if you're a fan of Don Sharp's work, or Jonny Dollar, his son, the music producer, please leave your comments down below. If you haven't done so already, please subscribe to the channel. It's absolutely free, it does not cost you a penny. And hit that notification bell and you'll be notified when more videos come out. It's very early, it's 7:30 in the morning. There's a lovely waterfall down here, as you can probably hear it. I'm not sure if you can or not. But we're going to find Don Sharp and Jonny Dollar's final resting place. I believe they're buried next to each other. So we're going to have a look, shall we? And I'll tell you a bit more information on the way.
Donald Herman Sharp, 19th of April 1921 to the 14th of December 2011, was an Australian film director. His best known films were made for Hammer in the 1960s and included Kiss of the Vampire, 63, Rasputin and the Mad Monk, 1966. In 1965 he directed The Face of Fu Manchu, based on the character created by Sax Rohmer and starring Christopher Lee. Sharp also directed the sequel, The Brides of Fu Manchu, 1966. Sharp enlisted in the Royal Australian Air Force on the 7th of April 1941 and was transferred to Singapore. In addition to his military duties, he appeared in radio and on stage with a touring English company. Among his radio performances were Escape and the Barretts of Wimpole Street. The acting bug had definitely gotten hold of me, says Sharp, and I did a bit of it while in the Royal Australian Air Force, as well as in the odd moment. After the war, Sharp did not want to return to Hobart. He auditioned for and won an understudy's position in J.C. Williamson's limited version of the Broadway comedy Kiss and Tell. When a bout of laryngitis incapacitated one of the leads, 2 weeks later, Sharp stepped into the role. He toured in the production from 1944 to 1945, then went on to appear in such plays as Arsenic and the Old Lace, 1945, and The Dancing Years. He worked for Morris West Production Company in radio and played a small role in Smithy, 1946, one of the few feature films shot in Australia at this time. He received an offer from Tony Hines of Hammer Films, who had seen The Professionals and was looking for a director for Hammer's vampire movie Kiss of the Vampire, 1963. Sharp had never seen a horror movie before, but agreed after watching several Hammer films. According to his obituary, Sharp helped make an atmospheric, suspenseful gothic horror and giving a depth to the characters that was sometimes missing in Hammer's other vampire productions. Kiss of the Vampire is now one of the Hammer's most highly regarded horrors. Sharp's New York Times obituary says, "Not a few Hammer fans contend that Kiss of the Vampire is one of the greatest gothic horror movies ever made." Kiss of the Vampire was shot in 1962. After making it, Sharp went back to television directing the episodes of The Human Jungle, then made another teen musical in vein of The Golden Discs. It's All Happening 1963, with Tommy Steele. He returned to Hammer for a swashbuckler, The Devil Ship Pirates 1964. It starred Christopher Lee, who would make several movies with Sharp. By now, Kiss of the Vampire had been released and Sharp started receiving offers to direct more horror films. He says Milton Subotsky offered him the choice of 3 scripts to direct, but Sharp liked none of them. Instead, he made Witchcraft 1964 for producer Robert L. Lippert. Sharp called it a little 4-week movie, very quickly done, but it received some lovely notices. He then spent several months directing Second Unit on Those Magnificent Men in Their Flying Machines 1965. Sharp said, "I had to think very hard about going back to Second Unit after directing half a dozen features. But it was so tempting, especially after my Air Force days, so I did it. And it was tremendously exciting and a marvellous movie to work on." He did find shooting footage with very old airplanes very slow. You're fortunate if you can get 2 setups in a day. So when it was over, he asked his agent to get him any job. Lippert had a sequel to The Fly, Curse of the Fly 1965, and Sharp did it. "They've pretty much run out of ideas," said Sharp, who says he and the writer both had the feeling, "Oh dear, what a pity, they're making another one." Sharp re-teamed with Lee for The Face of Fu Manchu 1965, produced by Harry Alan Towers. He later said, "I like Harry a great deal, but Harry will get more kick out of making a $5 in a slightly crooked and fast way than he would making $100 legitimately. He's a dealer rather than a movie maker, and he enjoys getting the best part of a deal. But he does have a certain enthusiasm, a sense of showmanship in order to make a good film. While working with Harry, you have to be insistent." Sharp married Australian actress Gwenda Wilson in 1945 after appearing on stage with her in Kiss and Tell. In 1956, he married actress Mary Steele, who he had met while shooting a documentary. Don Sharp died on the 14th of December 2011 after a short spell in hospital. He was survived by Mary Steele, 2 sons and a daughter. Another son, Massive Attack producer Jonny Dollar, predeceased him in 2009. Jonathan Peter Sharp, 20th of February 1964 to the 29th of May 2009, better known by the pseudonym Jonny Dollar, was an English record producer and songwriter. Sharp was born in Westminster, London, and his father was the Australian film director Don Sharp. Dollar is best known for his work on the Bristol collective Massive Attack's first album Blue Lines, on which he co-wrote the single Unfinished Symphony. Sharp's pseudonym came about during the recording of Blue Lines, where he was the only person working on the album being regularly paid. He co-produced Nana Cherry's first 3 albums, Raw Like Sushi, Homebrew and Man, and Gabrielle's 3rd album, Rise. He provided early remixes for Portishead and co-wrote both the anti-racism song 7 Seconds featuring Usain Dor and Nana Cherry, and Kylie Minogue's Confide in Me. His latter works include Man Like I and Eliza Doolittle's eponymous debut album. He died of cancer in May 2009 at the age of 45 and is buried next to his father.
So there's all the information there about Don Sharp and of course his son Jonny Dollar. This place is an eerie little place. I love it. It's so cool. It's so spooky. It's got an amazing atmosphere to it. But yeah, it's a really strange one, but I like it here. Anyway, I've been having a good look around and you know what? I think I found them. Here we are. Let's get the torch out for this one. Don Sharp, actor, writer, film director. Born in Tasmania, 21st of April 1921, died in Cornwall, 14th December 2011. Husband, father to Andrew, Catherine, John, excuse me. Someone, Matthew, remember with love. Wow. And then over here is his son, Jonathan Peter Sharp, songwriter, born 20th of February 1964, died 29th of May 2009. Beloved son, husband, father and brother. He was a very special lad. Oh. It's weird because, you know, for a film director, an actor, producer, you know, and his son who's a music producer as well, and you just, you know, you're just in like an empty forest really, with, yeah, I mean, a beautiful waterfall over there. So what I want to say is a massive thank you, Dom, bless you, for your film contribution to the movie industry. You made some amazing films. Thank you so much, bless you. And of course, not forgetting his son, Jonathan, you know, music producer with Massive Attack. Amazing. Unfinished Symphony is one of the best songs ever. I love it. It's just got such a great, I don't know, I just can't explain it. It's just got such a great vibe to it. It's a great song. Love it. Bless you. Thank you so much. So there we have it, the final resting place of legendary film director Don Sharp and his son Jonathan, music producer. Wow, you just don't expect it, do you? They're just literally there. And the markings on their headstone is not very clear. I mean, I know they've been passed for a few years now, but you know, you'd think that maybe some fans or family members may come and tend to their stone, but when you look for their information, it's not clear. No one says where they are on any of the websites. Look at that, how beautiful is that? This really is a gorgeous little place. A little bit eerie, but a gorgeous little place. So there we have it. We'll, yeah, I've got to say a massive thank you to the gentleman in the pub last night who told me that Don's final resting place and his son's final resting place were there. I'd have never known. I literally was here yesterday filming something which I may or may not have put out yet, but you'll see it at some point if you haven't already. And I walked past their graves and I didn't even, oh God, oh my God. That is some deep puddles there. I'm glad I got my pub welly boots on. I didn't even realise. I even looked at the grave and said, excuse me, Don, as I walked past it, but I didn't put two and two together. Anyway, I'm gonna walk up these hills and stairs. Thank you as always for watching. Don't forget to like the video, leave your comments down below, hit the notification bell. It's not all easy this, you know. Everyone thinks, oh yeah, YouTube, easy work. It's not. Up early, driving miles, climbing through who knows what. Right, I'll see you all in the next one. Take it easy.